This is music, and this is a relatively cheap stack of CDs. Welcome to another haul video. So next week I'm going to Germany to do some guest lectures on linguistics at the university in Bremen in Germany. And that's part of my job. So I decided to go out to the university here in Copenhagen today, where I work, to print out the tickets, just to play it safe, basically. And on the way back home, I decided to drop by the Accord outlet shop. It's a secondhand record and CD shop. They also have cassette tapes and other stuff like books and things. And it's part of the Accord chain of record shops here in Copenhagen. They have this Dutch auction system going on where, first of all, every single item in the shop costs the same, apart from a very small section of new vinyl that's kind of its own thing. Uh, and because it's a Dutch auction thing, they start out in the beginning of the month typically with mid range cheap prices, and then throughout the month, the prices drop. And then in the beginning of the next month, they start back up and the prices drop. On top of that, they have a bulk discount system as well, where if you buy like 10 items, you get them even cheaper. And the bulk discounts get crazier throughout the month. So that means that at the end of the month, you can buy a lot of really cheap stuff. But there's a risk that because it's at the end of the month, that all the good stuff has already been taken. In the beginning of the month, yes, the prices are not as cheap. They're relatively cheap, but there's a bigger chance of finding really cool stuff. So, I'm shooting this on the 1st of May. You're probably watching this much later, but I'm shooting this on the 1st of May. And of course, I went to the record shop today. So it's in the beginning of the month, in the beginning of a new round of Dutch auction stuff, whatever you call that. And so that means, yes, I got the CDs only relatively cheap and not insanely cheap, but I found some pretty cool things. I picked up two cassette tapes as well. When they have cassette tapes, the principle is that uh, two cassette tapes, they kind of count for one item. So you get two cassette tapes for the price of what one CD or one vinyl would cost. Anyways, I picked up two cassette tapes. First, this one here, Gary Moore After the War. By far my favorite Gary Moore album. And I have this on, there you go, on vinyl and CD already. And I don't need to have every single release on all three formats that I primarily collect. But there are, some that I think are just cool to have on all three formats. This is one of them. I got it really cheap, of course. So I decided to grab this copy. The other one is one I also have on vinyl. Dirty Looks, Turn of the Screw. Fantastic hard rock, glam metal band. Cool from the Wire, another one of their albums, is fantastic. It's one of the best glam metal albums, in my opinion. And I was lucky enough that Metal Marty Mac gave me a copy of um, Cool from the Wire on cassette tape. And I have this one on vinyl already, but I saw it on cassette tape in the wild. I had to pick it up because I will listen to this on cassette tape and enjoy it. Okay, so on to the CDs. Up first, this one here, Concra Stranded, um, in this strange green um, jewel case. I don't know if it came in this originally. I actually I don't think it did, but whatever. But yeah, Concra, Danish death metal band, and they have released, throughout their career, some good stuff and some not so good stuff, but they don't really have anything that I think is bad. Just good stuff and less good stuff, if you know what I mean. I actually, to be honest, I don't know, don't remember. I haven't listened to this in ages, so I don't remember if this is good stuff or not so good stuff. I'm pretty sure it's not bad though. So there you go. That's Concra, Stranded. Yeah, Stranded. Up next, Overkill, Ironbound. I actually there's a bunch of more recent Overkill stuff I don't have in my collection yet. So obviously I jumped at the bit and picked this one up. I mean, why wouldn't I? Fantastic thrash metal band, one of the best thrash metal bands in my opinion out there. Saw them live a couple of years, well, maybe 10 years ago now. Absolutely fantastic stuff. They had another Overkill one, and that was this one here, Necroshine. Another one that I didn't have in my collection already, but now I do, so that is fantastic. Bobby Blitz, I don't care what people say about his voice. I think he's a fantastic vocalist, perfect for thrash metal. Up next, this one here, Pretty Mates, and this one is called Anything Worth Doing is Worth Overdoing. I don't even know if I have heard this one before. To be perfectly honest, I don't know. But Pretty Mates, Danish heavy metal band, hard rock band, they put out a lot of good stuff over the years, so I'm pretty sure this one is good too. Can't remember if I've heard it though. Also grabbed myself this one here, Saxon Solid Ball of Rock. Kind of a similar story to Overkill and Pretty Mates, that there's a bunch of the more recent stuff that I don't have. As you can see, the CD is kind of dirty, so I need to clean it up. That's one of the reasons why you get them so cheap, right? Um, I did check all the CDs, the condition before I bought them. Most of them are just dirty. They don't really have major scratches or anything on them. Yeah, Solid Ball of Rock by Saxon. So one more recent Saxon release to my collection here. Then I grabbed this one here, Steelheart. Uh, I don't think I've ever heard Steelheart before, but I've heard so many good things about them. So they had this one super cheap, and I thought, why not just grab it, you know, on CD. And I also grabbed this one here, also Steelheart. This was the first Steelheart one I actually saw. Uh, Tangled in Rains, and this was also the one that made me realize that I'm probably gonna find enough CDs that I can get up to the bulk discount, and I did. So fantastic. Up next, Suicidal Tendencies, still psycho after all these years. Uh, Re-recordings of older tracks from the first album, as far as I remember. So you have the re-recording of Institutionalized. Some people prefer the original, some people prefer the re-recording. I like them both equally. I actually know a guy from LA who was friends with the guy who designed some of the first Suicidal Tendencies shirts. So that's really cool. And 10X AOR, melodic hard rock, sometimes kind of, a lot of ballads, but whatever. There you go. But it's good. I have a soft spot for AOR. It's not like I like everything AOR, but I like a lot of it. And I've heard a lot of good 10 songs. And up last, Very Heavy, Very Humble by Uriah Heep. Would be cool to have this one on vinyl at some point, but again, super cheap prices. Why not grab it? You know what I mean? So there you go. Stack of, I think, really cool and, of course, relatively cheap CDs that I picked up at the Accord record shop for now. Thanks for watching.